Well, my motivation for running stems from my background in education. I've spent significant amount of time as an educator. I taught high school and I've taught at the junior college level. And I really feel like we need to be listening to our teachers more. And so I want to bring that teacher perspective to the board. I know what it's like to be a teacher and to have ideas and suggestions and want to have that heard, but the frustration with not feeling like you're not being heard, so that that can be a part of the process. Okay, my greatest virtue. I would say my greatest virtue probably would be the probably compassion and empathy. I feel like I live by treat people the way you want to be treated. And so with my staff that I work with, I always think fairly. And I always think if I were in their situation, would I be okay with that? So I never would ask them to do something that I'm not okay doing myself. So just really listening to people is what is really important. People want to be heard, and they want to know that what they think and what they believe is being validated by you, and that you care about it. And but I genuinely do care about the what goes on with my community and what goes on with my staff. So I see my role as a member of the board as being kind of like a go-between. I don't see my role as imposing my own personal beliefs. So I would have already had regular communication with my community members, reaching out to them via neighborhood association meetings and various outreach efforts so that they know what is happening and so that I'm able to hear what they have to say. So I would, definitely take what they want into consideration and use that as the catalyst for whatever decision I make. So my goals really, like I said, my goal really is to have our teachers and our students to feel better supported. So having transparency with what's happening on the board, to have that open line of communication, to make people aware of what's going on, make them aware of the decisions that are being made, and to be that advocate for my community. I would say those are probably my big overarching goals. Um, Additionally, exposure for students. I know that our students they need to have more opportunities than just going to school and going home. And so we need to provide them exposure, as well as partnering up with our local community leaders, partnering up with local churches to help provide support for our students. The ways. I think that more than anything, I think that our schools, what happens with our schools is a community effort. And so I think to make our schools better, we have to utilize the resources that we have. We have to have members of churches that are willing to adopt a school and be mentors to our students, to have neighborhoods that are willing to read to students and listen to students reading to help with their reading skills, partnering with our libraries to help with our reading skills. So I feel like it's not necessarily one particular person or one entity. I feel like it's a collective entity to improve our schools. I attend St. Mark's Episcopal, and I, how often do I attend? I probably say in a month, maybe, I probably say maybe 2 times a month. I have a part-time job, and that part-time job sometimes has me working on Sundays. So, but if I'm not able to go to St. Mark's, then I'll go in the evening sometimes to Trinity Commons, which is one of the which is the Birmingham Episcopal Campus Ministries um, outreach for students, for college students. What distinguishes me from other candidates, especially in my race, is my background in education. My background in education isn't kind of like fly by night. It's a very dedicated background. I've spent my entire career working in education. So my what distinguishes me is that classroom experience of knowing what it's like to be in front of in front of a classroom, and knowing how the day doesn't end at 3 o'clock and the summers aren't totally yours, and that being a teacher is more than just standing in front of someone and teaching. It's being a mentor and being a counselor and being a cheerleader, and sometimes, you know, that person that they want to be a punching bag towards, not physically, but, you know, to get out their frustrations. But I realize that there's so much more to being a teacher